Harris here? Bruce Meyer?
Good evening, City Council. Bruce Meyer, Berkeley Avenue. I was going to make a few comments on the bond issue. What I was studying on the bond issue was not the bond issue, because what was posted online was incorrect and something totally different, which brings up continuing problem is that you can't find out what's going on in the city. Comments about the website, the emails being down, it has never been up. If you go onto the website and look at recreation, you can't find out who's in charge of recreation. It says Director of Recreation to be announced. You can go through any of that on the website, and it is an abomination, considering how much money we're paying supposed IT people to put up. It's never been finished. There is no information on there. The few phone numbers that you do have ring through to nothing. So anybody having problems with the website, we really don't have a website, and there's no, in fact, there's no employee list. If you try and get a list of who's employed in this city, you cannot find out. Nobody will tell you. It's a secret who has been hired by the city, who's on the payroll, who's not on the payroll. Not only is it a secret, when that should be, that is one of the things that has to be posted for the public. And one of the requirements, one of the things that we said we did, we swore to on best practices and said we had it. We haven't done that. So whenever I want to make comments, I never get to the comments that I want to make, because I just sit here and listen with my jaw to the floor, that hearing some of the things I've heard. Let's take a step back on this, who's employed by the city and who's not employed by the city. Mr. Wolf, please answer yes or no. Is Mr. Mitchell retired? Yes or no?
And certain questions can't be answered yes or no. What I can say, what I can tell you,
And Mr. Meyer, you know,
as
can
I
you do-
indicated,
Let me
Wait,
get,
just a-
let me
just a
get to the
second.
next question.
Mr. Wolf, just a
You
second. Mr. Wolf, I'm sorry. Mr. Wolf, just a second. If you, Mr. Meyer, if you can direct a question to me, and then I'll have the person that be most
I will
appropriate.
direct it to you, but you're not answering the question
but-
before.
but-
Okay,
but it's
here's the
most-
question. Yes
I
or no,
appreciate-
is Mr. Mitchell retired?
And I will direct it to Mr. Wolf, but I'm saying all
All right,
questions shall
all
be
right.
directed to the
You're-
chair.
You're
I,
drawing out on technicalities when all we need is a yes and no answer.
Mr.,
Yes or no?
and that question cannot be answered at this time. Your next
You-
question, Mr.
Okay, we're
Meyer?
refusing to answer. Okay, let me ask through you to the city attorney. Here's a general legal question. Can a person be retired and at the same time file for disability?
Mr. Wolf?
no,
Cannot.
cannot.
Okay, well, let's try this a different way. Is Mr. Mitchell still receiving regular salary checks? Through you, to the city attorney, or to whoever you direct that to, is Mr. Mitchell still receiving regular salary checks? This is public records, public knowledge. I put in an Oprah, I haven't got the answer yet, but that's a simple question.
Mr. Wolf, can that question be answered?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Somebody in this room must know the answer.
Mr. Meyer, let me ask you, have you done an Oprah request on this?
Yes, I have.
And what has been, the response has been? no
It's
response?
within the timeline, but this is public. I shouldn't have to go through an Oprah for this. This is something very simple.
I understand.
We have a somebody in the finance department. Somebody's writing checks. Simple question: is Mr. Mitchell receiving regular paychecks? If not, when did they stop? Simple question. Taxpayer. I'm paying salaries.
And
I should get an answer on this.
Mr. Meyer, when you put your open request in, are you within the time frame that you have not gotten the answer?
So you're saying that as
I'm
a
asking
person asking, that has nothing to do with Oprah, I'm asking you right now.
No, I'm asking you, have you put in an open request?
Yes, I have.
And you just have not gotten a response at this
It
point?
is within the time frame,
Okay.
okay? But I'm asking that as a backup. But why should not a taxpayer coming here asking a city council, and you are responsible for the city clerks. I might add that the problem with the city clerk, we've not had a city clerk actually doing the work for several years.
Right.
And there have been very specific things that needed to be done to monitor that situation, which the city clerk, which city council members have undermined and done various things. The city council is responsible for the situation for the city clerk. And so let me ask this question then. Is there current litigation? Is the situation with Dwight Mitchell currently being litigated?
I believe Mr. Wolf answered that earlier. Mr. Wolf?
Mr. Mitchell does have a pending workers' compensation claim.
And it is your statement that workers' compensation claim means that a person cannot be retired. That is what you said. Am I,
I'm
just for
saying
the record,
You can be retired and still have pending a workers' compensation claim.
I think that's what I asked before. Are you saying a disability is different from a workers' comp?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So is there a workman's comp disability litigation with Mr. Mitchell?
Mr. Mitchell has a workers' compensation claim and he also has applied for accidental disability with the state pension board.
We all know that. Why would that, and that may go on for years, so until that is cleared up, then we cannot replace a city clerk. A city clerk cannot be replaced while they have a claim before the state for benefits.
I'm sorry, Mr. Meyer, your last question was, can we fill the position while the...
Well, according to what I'm being told here, is that we cannot have a city clerk while the city clerk is making a claim on disability.
That's not what I said.
But Mr.
I said, can he be retired and be seeking disability? And you said, no, he cannot. So the reverse of that is, if he is seeking disability, then we cannot have a new city clerk until that is taken care of.
I disagree with that logic.
Well, you can't have it both ways. Which way is it?
Mr.
Myers, the question that you posed, I've answered. I've answered your question.
You've answered it both ways. And, you know, here's a citizen trying to get a simple question as to
Mr.
what,
Meyer, let me just be clear.
who's hired.
But, Mr. Meyer, let me just be clear, because you did ask a question about disability, and you asked a question about workers' comp. Those are two different things. So if there is further questions, Mr. Wolf has said that he cannot answer you because he does not have the information before him. You do have a open request in, and I believe that you are welcome to go to the law office and ask the question and talk to Dan Smith or Mr. Wolf, whoever's present.
I do not believe that anybody sitting here, you know, in the law department, anything else, does not know the situation of Mr. Mitchell. I do not believe that you do not know the situation of Mr. Mitchell. I question why this is such a big secret and why the city continues on without a business administrator, without a city clerk, and various other people, and why the employees of the city is a secret, and why there's no way to find out anything going on here without going through legal processes and begging to find out where our tax dollars are going. If you
Meyer,
think that people are upset They are. It's,
Mr. Meyer, what I will say, we apologize that we can't answer, but you know,
You won't-
personnel.
you will
let me
not
just
answer.
Let me just finish. Personnel matters are of a personal nature, and we are governed by how we can answer those questions. But what I will say regarding the BA, and I will say that this council has went to an extent to see if the administration chooses not to put a BA in place, can this council take any action? We went all the way to Trenton with that question. The answer we have received from Trenton is that if the mayor chooses not to put a BA in place, he chooses not to put a BA in place, and there's nothing that this council can do anything about. Regarding Mr. Mitchell, let us get an answer for you, and we will have an answer, but because it is a personnel matter, let us deal with it properly so that we can be covered as a city and that we will do it in a proper format.
you're both in that situation, because you're covering for not having a clerk.
Thank you, sir.